bunch of folks in front of my porch. Let's have a Coca-Cola, a sweet tea, or whatever your drink of flavor is, and let's just talk about how far we've come. It's on the only 1340 WTAN 10 Talk Radio Network.
It's All Groovy with Robin Shark. Tune in Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1. Listen at your own risk.
Tampa Bay's Tan Talk. Entertaining and informative radio for the Sunshine State.
Suki now. Hey! Come on, baby. Hey there, sugar dumplings. Let me tell you something, girl, I've been trying to say now. You look so sweet and you're so doggone fine. I just can't get you out of my mind. You become a sweet taste in my mouth now. And I want you to be my spouse.
It's Saturday. It's 12 noon. This is the Tan Talk Radio Network. And it's All Groovy with the one, the only, Robbie the Shark.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Saturday, the 5th of April, 2025. That means it's time to make America groovy again. All right. It's already 81 degrees here in Clearwater. Really nice out there. About time the weather come back. Local news is reporting high 90, but then on their website for the local news, it says high 84. So maybe it's Tampa that's 90 and over the Clearwater side.
It usually is because Tampa's always a little bit warmer. They're a lot further inland than we are because we're right on the water here on the Gulf of Mexico. Let's get that right.
That's the one I didn't understand, though, because the breezes are out of the south-southeast, so we should be getting, rather than cold air off of, we're not getting the warm air off the water. Toof, okay. Sometimes stupid, I have to think it out.
That's okay. That happens.
But it says 84, and I just think nothing's reliable anymore with the weather broadcasters. I used to work for Air Weather Service when I was part of the Air Force, part of the cover that we did, and these people were stupid. Anyways, man, I always lose my self-attention there. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. It is going to be 90 degrees, and right now I understand a lot of clouds are coming in, so it's not too much sun. And remember, sunscreen is bull squirt. You need the sun. Vitamin D, 20 minutes of sun exposure, 2 to 3 days per week, enables the skin to absorb what they call 20,000 IUS or international units
of sunshine.
Equivalent to 400 glasses of milk. You can't drink that much milk. So get your butt outside. Between 11 and 3, at least 2, go for 3 days, man. And remember, it's not got milk, it's got beer. More nutrients in it there in beer and sunshine. I know. I had to be an idiot. Beer has a lot of nutrients. Yeah, that's
beer does.
Oh yeah, when they crossed over the Atlantic here, the Pilgrims, they lived off ale.
All right.
There are a lot of nutrients. Of course, it can make you fall off that boat too.
That's true.
But there's all kind of stuff in it. That cracked me up when I learned that years ago that's how they survive, because what happens when they didn't know how far they were really going and they run out of supplies. Well, you at least got beer, If you got beer, you don't have to worry about drinking the water because it's salt water, so you don't have to purify the water. So they drank beer.
There you go.
That's how it happened.
And, of course, we have to get to this. This is the disclaimer for the show. First of all,
thank you.
If anybody wants to call in, 727-441-3000. Again, 727-441-3000. But please keep the calls within the boundaries of good taste. And also, any opinions that you hear on the show today are that of the host and guests and do not reflect those of the Tan Talk Radio Network. Again, any opinions expressed on this radio show today are that of the hosts and guests and do not reflect those of the Tan Talk Radio Network. Thank you.
Thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't want to get the station in charge. It's all on me.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid of the FCC come down on me. And Gutfield is still stealing from me, and he swears a lot more than I do. And that Tyrus is a trip. I don't care if you're a politic person or not. It's funny.
You know what he did before his career, before getting into TV, do you?
He was a wrestler.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a wrestler, and I hate wrestling. My son always loved that, and I could just.
I'm
never
still
get
into
wrestling.
it. I'm still into it.
Oh,
I'm still a
really?
wrestling fan. Absolutely.
Oh, that's really groovy. Hey, I want to come back to sports again later,
Sure.
but it's been bothering me because I've been looking on the internet, and I'm not at home, and I didn't check before I left. Rays are at 7, and so are the Lightning.
Yep.
I think ESPN Plus for the Lightning.
No,
and-
ESPN. No, that's regular cable tonight. It's going to be on
Oh,
FanDuel.
FanDuel
Sports
channel?
Network. I'm double checking all
Okay.
that now because I have access to the cable box here in my little booth in
Appreciate it.
here.
I was sitting over there, and I don't know what happened. Well, I'm out of medication, and the pill form medication I get from the VA, let's put it that way. But I do need that along with my other medication. No, I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, edgy. I just can't calm down, and I can't go get meds until Monday. So I am a little afraid. I warned Matt, matter of fact.
Yes, he did. Now, I can
yeah.
clarify this because I've looked. For those of you that have Spectrum, this will be easy to figure out. The Rays are on FanDuel Network Florida, channel 39 on Spectrum.
That's what I thought.
So the Rays are on channel 39. FanDuel Sports Network, which is a regular channel that carries the Lightning, which is channel 31 on Spectrum, they will be covering the Lightning game tonight as the Lightning are up in Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Sabres. So if you're looking, the Lightning game is at 7. The Rays start at 9. Channel 31 for the Bolts, channel 39 for the Rays. There you go.
The Rays start at 9?
No, the Rays are at 7.
7. They're both at 7
Yes.
tonight, right?
Yep, the Rays are
Okay.
at 7 in Texas. Yeah, it's Rays and the Rangers at 7, Lightning and Sabres at the same time.
And I'm looking at the stats on the Lightning.
Okay.
Where we're at now. How come they don't have the little blue marker star
That's
saying
good.
that they clinched?
Because they haven't clinched yet. They can clinch tonight.
Oh, real? Thank
Yes,
you.
I'm gonna double check that before I go into my sports report while you're on your medication break.
Groovy dooby. I've been sitting out here, like I said. I came in. I was anxious to begin with. You saw me, and I, of course, walk away and try to use all the techniques they taught you to do from the PTSD program and calm down. And I'm having a fit today. Shouldn't have let my meds run out, Robbie. But hey, not always the brightest bulb on the tree, you know. Hey, did you know? This is completely off the wall, but I planned this. Pringles are only 42% potato. The rest is rice and other shit. But open a can and pop it open today because they are good. I don't care if they have rice in them. But I just saw that the other day on flicking through the channels. I watch stupid crap every now and then, Stop History and what have you there that shows you some stuff that's a little unordinary. What was that about, Robbie? Oh, yeah. Interesting. This is wild. Okay. I don't even know if you know that I do this, but every morning, Monday through Friday, I have it's supposed to be 1 minute, 30 seconds. Sometimes it runs till 2 minutes, but it's called Wake and Bake. And come out and I just give a day's spiel there about something good, something that's going on in the news you might want to know about. It's fun to listen to. And and what I realized was Easter Sunday is also 420 day. I was doing an evening show too, 420 beach bake, but I'm going to tell you what, writing 2 shows a day, even that's 5 minutes worth, it was exhausting and I couldn't do it. So I'm just doing the morning one, which is fun, gives me a reason to rise up out of bed and make fun of me, laugh. You see me on Facebook, Robbie Does Shark, DASHARK, Ferenz, the Foxtrot Echo, Romeo Echo, November Charlie Zulu, that's FERENCZ. But if you just type in Robbie space DASHARK, it should show up for you. We're having problems here with Facebook today because apparently my account is hacked. I knew I was having problems. In fact, I got to call the bank after this show, man. Somebody's charging Netflix. Somebody tried to pay their phone bill. It's just, I guess God makes it interesting, but it's not. It's a pain in the butt. And get this one. Where I live at, Matt, I do not have a mailbox.
Okay.
Unless I go through the post office. I pay them $35 and then they'll give me a key.
You have a P.O. box.
I have an address on the second floor, but the mailman at my apartment complex doesn't deliver to the door. Although I did get one letter from the VA.
Okay.
So maybe when they see this and realize it's coming from Chase Bank, that's pretty darn important.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I got a register letter, I think, from the VA. That's why I got it. But I found out from the landlord, no, you got to go all the way to post office 113th. I don't drive, folks. I quit that long time ago when I was a real super alcoholic. And no. When I moved to Florida, you ain't doing no more. Don't buy no car because you know you're going to drink. So just don't get a car and you'll be safe. And through the years, I've slowed down. It's good. But I still don't want to drive. I'm scared. You never know, man. Be careful out there, man.
Too many wackos, weirdos, and stupid idiots out on the road.
Oh, what did what did I just see? I was on the way in with my cabbie, Mikey, from Sunshine Chauffeur Service. They're available for all your needs. I don't have my card here with me today. I lost it. I knew something wasn't right.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Normally, you have the card. That's one of the first things you do when you get on the air.
First things I do, and I was told I was so wound up, and I'm looking, and I always tend to forget something, whether it's a lighter, a pen, something stupid.
Yeah.
Man, that's what I forgot. I forgot the card. That's all right. They are good people. You can look them up online, Sunshine Chauffeur. They're groovy. They'll take good care of you. And they're actually cheaper than Uber. Really, remember, if you're going to go out and drink, it's better to spend $10 to get home and maybe $10 to get back tomorrow morning and get your car when you're sober.
Yep.
But don't get pulled over and spend 10 grand, man. I've been down that road. I've been in jail for it, brother. 5 days I had to spend in jail. It was hell for me, actually. And I thought I was a bigger man than that, but I was scared to death. But fortunately, one of my girlfriends, when I was going through the divorce, her cousin.
You said one of? How many did you have?
Well, I was going through a divorce many different times in my life.
Okay, then.
Not at the same time. I already had a wife and a girlfriend.
I was going to say.
That was enough. But her cousin, he was a sheriff in Allegheny County Jail, and he actually worked the jail. He made sure I got a cell that only had one bed. So I didn't have to have any celly, you don't know what them animals were doing. And I'll never forget. I'm like, they're supposed to get me out. The lawyer told me, get me out. They call my name. I'm like, getting out. They said, no, go up to cell block 3, blah, 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 top bunk. I'm like, oh, dear God. As soon as I threw my stuff up on the bed, they call my name again, get down here, you're getting out. I'm like, you dirty, rotten SOBs. But I learned a big lesson. Don't do it, man. It really ain't worth it. Would it cost you money? And you should be so unfortunate to actually kill somebody besides yourself. You die, everybody you love is hurt, but you hurt somebody else, man. That's, you don't want to live with that. So be cheesy out there, man. Be cool. Be groovy.
I was going to say.
You're at the beach or whatever, and you feel like, geez, I had a little bit too much, please. I don't care what cab service you call.
Just call somebody. Make sure you got a ride.
Yeah. Or catch Port Authority, although I've seen them get thrown off of there, too. People will really get stupid. Hey, I didn't mention that yet, did I?
What, getting stupid? We say that every show.
I am stupid.
I didn't mean you.
That's what my hearing's bad. You know that. That's why the left ear is the worst one. That's why I keep the headphone on the left side.
I know.
It equals stuff. It's weird. I've done it for years. I used to work for Dish Network, Direct TV, and all that. Answering phones. The left ear, I can hear.
Wait a minute. You actually work for a TV station?
Yeah.
Oh boy. the fact that they let you near the equipment. Oh boy.
Well, not a TV station, a cable company.
I'm
Network.
kidding.
It wasn't an actual station. No.
I know.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's what gave me the final courage that I want to get on the radio.
All right.
Because I've wanted to do it all my life. It was a dream. I mean, Bob Prince. We got the announcers from Pittsburgh sports. Mike Lang.
He's a hero of mine.
Oh my God, Myron Cope. Sheesh. These guys are my heroes. And I always wanted to do it. And
here we are.
That put me over the edge because I'm like, I don't know what I sound like, but I got people on the phone and they're like, Robbie, you have such a nice voice. maybe you should sing. I'm like, no, I've done that before.
I'm
You're
like,
on
"Well,
here. I don't do that well.
Yeah, let's not do that. We actually want to keep listeners on the product. Thank you.
Well. I learned that's why I did it one time. I just wanted to hear how bad I really was. I was really, really bad. Don't search past episodes to see that because you embarrassed me. But I actually watched that episode because I knew I was a fool, and I had to see it. And I'm like, Jesus, Robert, you actually did that. But people on the phone would tell me this, customer service, whether I fixed their problem or not. They were just like, after a while, you start to go, well, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe I sound different through a microphone, I guess. I don't know. But what I hear, then again, I got bad ears anyway. I'm supposed to have hearing aids. So I guess I'm tone deaf too. Enough talking about my goofy life here. Hey, you know what?
But that's part of the fun, though, is talking about your goofy life. That explains a lot of things.
It certainly does. Oh, boy. No, I don't want to bring up that story, but you almost did.
All right. Well, maybe
I am legally brain damaged.
Yes.
I have encephalomation of the right frontal lobe.
Was that from the baseball bat or was that from something else?
That was from the baseball bat, which hit me on the left side of my head.
Yeah.
Which you would think that would be worse. I got 3 stitches, that's it. But the brain, what happens when you get a concussion, it bangs off the other side of the wall.
Head, yeah,
and then
I
it
know.
bounces back.
Yeah.
And so that side is jacked up. I still can't believe the United States Air Force let me in, nor the Army. It's just, what the hell were you thinking? Because they knew they could take advantage of me and teach me stuff that I got to be quiet about. I can't talk about. But I do want to discuss that.
Okay.
I'm going to get into that later on, I think, after the break. Try to remind me UAPs. You know what they are.
Okay.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Used to be called UFOs.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as UFO. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. What do we got here? I get
there is such a thing as, I believe that. I believe that that alien life will eventually walk among us. And I'm talking like outer space aliens, not the other kind.
I'm going to give you some information that I don't care anymore. Others have come out and told the truth. And I've told it before on the radio. I'm not afraid to. They can come. IRS can come too. FCC, I don't care. I ain't afraid of yins. Excuse me. I usually don't cough on set, which is weird.
That's okay. You actually got somebody calling in for you.
Oh, who we got there?
Lynn is back on the phone. She wanted to call back again this week.
Oh, hey, Lynn. How are you today?
Good.
I'm glad to
You
hear
can just put me on hold. I can come in whenever you want me to.
You're on the air right now, darling.
You're on the air. Yeah, you're live with me right now. So be careful what you say, okay?
Okay.
This is a family program.
Yes.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of, maybe.
Kind of, sort of. It's a gray area. Go ahead. So what's going on there, girl?
Okay.
Hey, well, turn the radio off, first of all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glenn, do us a favor. Step away from the radio. You can hear us directly through your phone. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you echo real bad.
There we go. All right, so what do you want to talk about?
There we go.
I like the alien thing. When I was in college, I sincerely was going to try to be the first one to communicate with aliens. I was going to be a psycholinguist.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Did that work?
Go ahead.
Did I do it?
Yeah, you're fine. Keep going.
You're groovy. Keep going.
Okay,
If you've got more to say, then I'll
We
yap
were
over you.
talking about that. Communicate with the aliens. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to be top one in NASA to communicate with, the first one to communicate with aliens verbally. So I was going to study psycholinguistics.
I'm glad you did bring up NASA because they had to recant and change the story this week. They came out and said that's the first polar orbiting spacecraft sent up by mankind. I beg to differ, sweetheart. I had them when I worked there in 1983, and I think we had them up there in the early 60s too. Okay. It's just ridiculous. And then they come back and say the first manned polar orbiting. And I'm like, okay, I'll give you that one. We've never seen the North and South pole before. You know what's funny is that's one of the things I knew, and I'm going to tell you some of the secrets I knew, but we were never allowed, and I didn't even realize it because it seemed like it was an unimportant area, the North and South Pole. And we had all that on tape. You could see the pictures. It's one big reel of what do you call it? Negative. It's like it just takes pictures. It's not quite a movie, but some of the data that went to the other floors, they got the real stuff that was video. But I was not that high on the totem pole, so heck, I was 20 years old. I mean, how much information you want to trust me with? You know what I mean? This is deep, man. I mean, really, really deep what I did. Fascinating. Wow. Sugar plum. I'm proud of myself. I don't think about that too much like I used to. Although I saw Eddie Pop up there in Pittsburgh on Facebook today, and your buddy from the Army buys you a cake every year, and you've been out for what, 40 years? God darn, dog. That's really cool. But that is what military people are like. Even ones you don't know and didn't serve with. Like, well, Lenny's a veteran, and that's one of the reasons we are friends.
Yes.
You just see life differently. Matter of fact, I want to start doing that next week, doing a veteran segment here on the show and find out what's going on in VA world. I don't live over that way anymore, so I don't get to see what they're not and what they are doing. But I want to look into that. But no, what I did, that's what I was getting at there. I'm looking at the clock because I knew I want to go out on my smoke break. And you know what? I'm going to do that, Matt. It's time for my medication break.
All right, so now,
right back, Lynn.
Here's what we're going to do. I'm putting Lynn on hold. I'm turning her down so that way she can stay on the phone lines, but we're not going to have her on the air just yet. And I'm going to lower the fire pit down just a minute. So when we come back, we're going to step out and take a quick break for Robbie's medication, and I will be back with a sports report and whatever's happening else in the world. We'll be back with more right after this here on the It's All Groovy Show on the Tan Talk Radio Network. All right, we are back here once again on the It's All Groovy Show on the Tan Talk Radio Network, FM 106.1 and AM 1340 here in Clearwater, and FM 102.3 and AM 1350 up in Dade City. Lots to get to on the show. For those of you that are just tuning in and you're watching on YouTube and or Facebook, the reason you're looking at an empty studio is because Robbie is out on his medication break. I'm Matt. I'm the engineer and producer of the show. I am on the other side of the camera. That's why you can only see me and you cannot, or correction, that's why you can only hear me and you cannot see me. 727-441-3000 is the phone number to call. We'll be taking phone calls when Robbie comes back from his medication break. Lynn is already on the phone. We will get back to her when Robbie comes back in the studio. Again, disclaimer, for those of you listening to the show that are new to this program, the opinions expressed on this radio show are those of the host and guest and do not reflect those of the Tan Talk Radio Network. Again, the opinions expressed on this radio show are that of the host and guest and do not reflect those of the Tan Talk Radio Network. So Robbie will be back from his medication break shortly. I will try to get you caught up on what's going on in the sports world and also kind of get the fire pit back going again here in the studio. There we go. Like I said, we always try to join you around the fire pit here on Robbie's Island. And there's a lot happening in the sports world this week. We're a week into baseball season already. The Rays are off to a hot start. So are my Mets. The Yankees are off to a good start. Everybody's talking about the torpedo bats and big whoop. The bat's not going to make the difference. You still have to be a good enough hitter to be able to hit the ball. So the bats aren't going to make that much of a difference. In the world of college basketball, the Final Four is this weekend. Actually, the Final Four is in about 6 hours from now, as the first matchup is Auburn and Florida. The second matchup at almost 9 o'clock tonight is Duke and Houston. I'm sitting here in a Duke jersey. I'm rooting for my Blue Devils. The national championship game is on Monday. Both Final Four games tonight and the national championship game on Monday are taking place at the same location. They are at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, with a national championship on the line. This is only the second time in the history of the NCAA tournament that we have had all 4 number 1 seeds reach the Final Four. This year's Final Four participants are Florida, Auburn, Houston, and Duke. The only other time that has happened where we've had all Final Four schools be number 1 seeds was in 2008. 2008 was the only other time in history where we've had all 4 national championship Final Four teams be the number 1 seeds. And I'm double checking that now just so I can make sure we get this right. But the last time we had all Final Fours number 1 seeds, aside from this year, was in 2008, where we ended up having Kansas, Memphis, North Carolina, and UCLA. That was the Final Four in 2008. The only other time where we've had all 4 number 1 seeds make it to the Final Four along with this year. Again, this year's it's Duke, Houston, Auburn, and Florida. Duke and Houston are in the later game. Auburn and Florida tip off at 6 o'clock. And this is also the only other time in history where this is the only time in history since the tournament expanded to its current format in 1985, where the Power 4 conferences, the Big East, the Big 12, the SEC, and the ACC were all represented by all 16 teams left in the tournament by the time we hit the Sweet 16. It's the only time in history since the expansion in 85 that has happened. And that's what we are looking at for the Final Four this weekend. In other sporting news, history has been tied. Alexander Ovechkin, the scoring star of the Washington Capitals, scored goal number 894 last night. He tied Wayne Gretzky for the most goals in the history of the National Hockey League. He did it in Chicago last night. And he has a chance to break the record first up on Sunday, this Sunday, tomorrow, when the Capitals go to Long Island to take on my New York Islanders. Ovechkin has a chance to break Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record. He scored number 40 and 41 last night to draw within 1 and then subsequently tie Wayne Gretzky for the goal-scoring record in the history of the National Hockey League, 894 goals. Only 3 men in history have ever scored more than 800 NHL goals: Gretzky, Ovechkin, and Gordie Howe. They're the only 3 guys to ever score 800 or more goals in the NHL. Ovechkin tied Gretzky last night, has a chance, first up, to break the record on Sunday when the Lightning go to Long Island to take on the New York Islanders. And we have less than a week to go in the regular season. Actually, we have 2 weeks to go in the season. The regular season officially ends April 17th, and the Tampa Bay Lightning have a chance to clinch a playoff spot tonight. The Lightning can clinch a playoff spot tonight. They are in Buffalo taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. I'll turn Robbie's mic on back in a minute as he's back from his medication break. But I'm just clarifying this because I know we're going to talk about it at some point. The Lightning can clinch a playoff spot tonight with a point. They need 1 point against Buffalo to clinch a playoff spot. If somehow they lose in regulation tonight in Buffalo, they can still clinch a playoff spot with a little bit of help. They need either the Canadiens to lose to the Flyers later tonight, or the game that's starting right now, they need the Rangers to lose in regulation or overtime to the Devils. If the Rangers lose tonight or this afternoon to the New Jersey Devils, then the Tampa Bay Lightning are in the playoffs. So to either get a point against the Sabres, or if somehow they don't, have help from either the Flyers or the Devils, the Lightning will be in the playoffs, or should be in the playoffs, by the end of play tonight. And now, back from his medication break, rejoining us is the one and only Robbie the Shark. And we also now have Lynn back on the phone. I turned her phone back on.
Okay, groovy. I do want to get back to that little Air Force story there for a minute.
Sure.
When I got these pictures, right, and we actually had, there was a UFO on it. And I showed it to my boss, and she said it's not a UFO. I'm like, what? Every time.
The bat phone keeps going off.
Every time.
I'm
talking about the government. See what happens?
Yeah.
Every time we talk about the government.
That happens once a week. That happens once a week for those of you that are new to the show. That Robbie's phone goes off at least once a week during the show.
God. And usually when I'm talking about something deep into the government that people shouldn't know, but I think you need to know. And you've watched enough History Channel, you understand that, they do exist. But she said there was no such thing. I said, what do you mean there's no UFO? She said, Robbie. I said, well, what? She said the Air Force official statement on that is there's no UFOs because they have all been identified. You understand that? And you do know that Eisenhower did sign a treaty agreement with aliens, and they do live among us now. Right now, they have for many, 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 many moons. This is not just because I have inflammation.
So wait, are we talking like the out of space aliens, or are we talking the
They're
other
from
kind?
another world.
So we're talking the out of space aliens. Okay.
Well, if you want to call it that word. They're not from Earth, okay?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But they inhabited Earth for, I understand, some for fuel reasons. I don't know, but apparently they do live in the South Pole. I saw that too. The waters down there in the South Pole, and it's why I was talking about that earlier about the South Pole. We never got to see the pictures. That's why there's actually warm water there.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, like the Pacific Ocean, warm.
Talking about COVID, and he did.
Hey, Lynn, you're on the
Lynn,
phone.
you're on the phone, dear. You're on the phone with the radio station. Who are you yapping with? You want to jump in the conversation? Come on.
I asked some people if they were wanting to be guests, and I was telling them how I was talking about your viewership, and then that they do monitor you, and there's restrictions about what you can talk about and what you don't. I was just telling them a little bit about how
we know
works.
that. They shut the
Yeah,
whole
that's what I
radio
was
station
telling them
down for a
about.
week.
I was telling them about that.
There's a word I'm not allowed to mention anymore.
Yeah,
Think
let's
about it
not.
every day. I really do. I think about it every day, but I got a different word for that, and I'm not bringing that subject
Yeah,
up.
let's
I'm
not.
not going to do it.
Yeah, that's right. I was
it.
saying that.
Go ahead, Lynn.
So, there's been like a lot of people. I've been learning a little bit about quantum theory, right?
Okay.
And it changes everything, and it talks about the existence,
Unlimited universes.
Yes, and all that, and that says how there's been like we are definitely not the first intelligent beings in the universes
Absolutely.
and in history and time and
how many galaxies there are? I don't even know the real number. It's ridiculous how many planets are just in our galaxy. Well, there is that near Earth one I've heard about before. I don't that name that just.
I don't know the names.
But it's supposed to be close enough to its star, our sun, their sun, that there's water on it and it could be inhabitable. So they always say that have to have water to have life. H2O, the water boy. That'll bring me into sports.
Now that's some high quality H2O.
That certainly is some high quality H2O. Hey, that's a good one, Matt.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Matt. Boy, you really never know what you're going to get on this show. And
that's why we always say when we run the promo for the show, the last words that are said at the end of the promo, listen at your own risk.
You know what?
Yeah, right.
I watch these other goofballs on TV, like Gutfeld, and theirs is a little bit more unscripted, but he knows he got his plan, right? And I'm thinking, Robbie, and my brother was telling me, he says, you need to get not off space. Basically totally script myself. I can't do that. That's no fun. And like I said, I've had people tell me one of the reasons they listen to me is because you're off the wall. You're giving us the same facts that Fox News will give you. We're CBS, and I don't know why CBS was Democrat, but they'll come around eventually and see the light. By the way, hey, Lynn, did you see TV host Scarborough?
No.
He says, looking back at the Biden administration, this is really neat, key, and it just amazes me. He sees it differently now after the way the quote-unquote media was defining it. Yes, defining it. You understand? They were defining what you believe, All the time when Biden was real time, they just towed the line, baby doll, you know what I mean? And does this retard realize that he's no longer on the air, I don't think. I don't know how he got in the airtime, but I looked that up earlier today, and it says he dropped a couple years ago or whatever. But he was a media, ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC. They all lied to you. He was on their networks. They all lied to you. Yes. Matter of fact,
yes, they were defining for us what we were to think. They were giving us the script that they were to give us. They were defining for us what we were to think, how we were to perceive it.
Yeah, I mean,
Everything.
y-
The
you're
media has the
you're
power.
a veteran like me, and that I think is more insulting to somebody like you and I. Nothing against you, Matt, but being we were ready to give our up to and including our lives if it should happen.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
this is how much we feel about democracy, even when you're at the bottom of the rung sometimes and going, please help me. And then believe me, I've been there. Matter of fact, some people from back home still make fun of me about it. But hey, you know what? I'm actually very glad it happened to me. I really am. I learned so much about life and other people. I have learned to calm down, but that was with VA help. And of course, the legalization of my medication here in the state of Florida. So, yeah, it has helped a lot. Matter of fact, you could see if you were watching the show from the beginning, Matt can attest to this or not, I've calmed down so much. I was really losing my mind, man, really losing my mind. You know, one thing, though, I do want to say something about the Democrats also. AOC, and of course, Bernie. They're the only demons that are telling you the truth. Did you know they both admitted on air that they are communist? Period.
Yes.
Did you see that?
They are telling the truth about what they believe. True. So you know what you get if you vote for them, or if you you know what they believe, and that's one thing that I always I do respect that of them. So you know if you vote for them, you're going to get what you're going to get, and I always respected that about Trump. And they would say how he's lying, he's doing this and that. There's one thing he wasn't doing, even if you didn't like how he presented it, or if you didn't like what he said, you knew he was saying what he meant.
Yeah,
and
he was telling you the truth, and that's what I love about Trump.
Well, you should have said it. You should have said it in a different way. Why? So you didn't know what he meant. So you heard the pretty words, but in his inside, he was the other ones who say the pretty words. They were thinking the same thing Trump was thinking, but you didn't know it because they had covered it with pretty words. And that's what you want for a president. You vote for somebody you don't even know what they really think. I want to know what they really think. And then if I don't like it, I don't have to vote for them. But at least I know what they really think.
No, I'm glad you brought that up,
oh, well,
too.
that's what a president should say. So.
That was something I wanted to get into, too.
And I have to give
Biden auto pen, the Biden auto pen. Now, I didn't think about this, too. I keep hearing the story about him and the auto pen. So he really wasn't signing the laws. Okay. A machine was doing it for him. He copies his signature. And I noticed from day one, Trump signs his bills right in front of you from the Oval Office and tells you what he's signing.
Yes.
You didn't even know what this guy was signing. They did it all behind your back because Biden was not running the government. I told you that before. It was all Obama
he
in the
didn't
basement.
even know what he was signing.
Obama in the basement with Hillary and the help of what's her name there, Pelosi.
Yeah,
what
Nancy
did Gutfeld
Pelosi.
say the other night about her? It was funny. I wanted to steal from him. Been trying to contact that schmuck too. We'll get there. Things will happen. Where'd he go? I want to get back into sports. He knows his sports, man. I tell you what, Matt is really
I'm
good.
listening to him.
He knows his sports. And then he just got off the air this morning. What is Paul Porter on home team is 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. See Paul leave when I'm coming in the door an hour later after the groovy music that they play here at WTAN Tan Talk Radio Networks. Then it's my turn. So this is groovy. I already talked about the glasses of milk, didn't I?
You did glasses of milk and beer. We talked about that before.
I wanted to get to too, but I actually wanted to get back to what we were talking about UFOs and crap. But we're gonna let that go. No, because my brain just does that. What's what first thing I got to say something else funny about me. Just because the thought I just had is when I first got help from the VA in 2014, this psychiatrist he was actually that would see me at the VA because I lived at the VA for 7 months to try to get myself better from PTSD and bipolar caca. But she told me after I said this to her, back up in Pittsburgh, Harvey's Wilners, if you are listening up there, I used to walk in and I used to tell Harvey, don't mind me, just got a couple of neurons misfiring. I'm okay. I'm not nuts. And she leaned back in her chair And she said, Robbie, say that again. And I says, you just have neurons misfiring. She said, Robbie, that's exactly what happens. Your brain is here, and then all of a sudden, just and that's why I ramble on like this. You either love it or hate it. And if you hate it, I don't care, because there's people that hated Myron Copeland, other people do. So I know you love listening to me just like I do. Oh, yeah, that little self-centered right there, Robbie. Sugar plum. Why do I do this?
The thing is, you're yourself, and if people like you or they don't like you, you're yourself, and it doesn't matter. You don't change to be liked, and that's the important thing. That's the very important thing.
It is. I mean, but it's just it's entertainment for me, to be honest with you. It's better going to the bar. I'll tell you that. I mean, this is my once a week entertainment, and I hope other people out there are enjoying it. As I said, I do go all around the ballpark, but eventually we hit most of what I want to talk about, and I really hope you can find it interesting. You know what?
Yeah.
No, we ain't got it. Facebook is down. Yeah, we ain't got me live on Facebook today, man.
I know. We only got
bummer.
you on YouTube right now.
And yeah, I couldn't. I needed my phone to read some of that stuff I got. I planned that I didn't write in the book, because there's a lot of stuff right here, information I could skip through, but because it gets very detailed, and I don't want to get too detailed. And then we're gonna get over to sports again, because I really want to talk about that too. There is a ton going on that I'm so stupid. I don't watch ESPN anymore. But anyways, go ahead.
I want to know one thing, because I don't have internet, so I just need a update on the earthquake over in Bangkok and stuff. Somebody told me there was 3 of them.
I thought that happened last week.
I know. Was there 2 more of them?
You know what? I haven't seen any, and you know me, Lenny. I watch a lot of news. The one that's considered to be conservative. That's the one I watch. That's going to be the most truthful, although they're full of doo-doo too. But I digress.
It's less.
I digress. Huh? I think I'm somebody. I went to Robert Morris College, which became Robert Morris University when I dropped out after 1.5 years.
So that means that they have a wider range.
No, Bobby U, man. Most people don't know this. Bobby U, Robert Morris College. Do you know who Robert Morris was?
He did Morse code.
No, he basically financed the Revolutionary War. Oh. And I don't know why they don't talk about this, especially February, because February is supposed to be Black History Month, right? Dude was black. He's black as coal. But he financed everything, and once the war was over, he lost everything, and he died penniless.
Robert Morris is a white guy.
Nah, not Robert Morris College. He's a black dude.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
There's quite a few people that financed the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, the financier of the revolution's a white guy.
You got to look into Robert Morris.
That's what I'm doing. Robert Morris, the financier of the revolution's a white guy.
I mean, that was 1980 when I went to college, but
you might be thinking of the Civil War, parts of the Civil War.
Yeah, that's the financier of the war I'm talking about.
Oh, I could do that. Okay.
The Revolutionary War was we were against England, and there was a lot of people financing it.
According to Wikipedia, Robert Morris
up.
University.
Yeah, they actually have a football team now. Do you know that?
Yes, I know that.
Do they suck?
Yeah, they were originally known as the Pittsburgh School of Accountancy, RMU.
RMU, Bobby U.
Yeah, and the guy they named the school after was the financier of the revolution, and the financier of the American Revolution, and again, he's a white guy.
Oh, right. Well, why did I think he was a black guy?
I don't know.
No, wait a second. I'm looking up too. I swear to God. Because that's one of the things I was so impressed about. Actually, my Uncle Johnny's one that talked me into Robert Morris. I was going to school for accounting anyways in high school. And he just convinced me, which is funny because he never did become a CPA, but he did make a good living. I think he was driving FedEx or some crap like that. Founding father, financier. How about founded in 1921 as the Pittsburgh School of Accountancy? But that's why I went there, because he
Because he thought he was black, or because he was a financier of the Revolutionary
Well, I
War?
thought it was fascinating because if he was, or I'm incorrect, and he was a black man, I mean, who would think? Everybody thinks, oh, the white guys, you started in America. No, we had people of both colors. Unfortunately, down south, yeah, kind of sucked to be you. But then again,
Well,
the
it wasn't
Irish have
down
gone
south.
through it. They've all been.
North.
There ain't a race on society that hasn't been slave at one time in their life. Thank God we're not, and thank God the nation does seem to be turning around. I hope we remember to love one another, man. Just be groovy, like my fellow Floridians down here, man. It's caca happens, especially certain districts. I don't know why that happens. The drug areas. Avoid that at all costs, man. They scared me, and I ain't scared of much of nothing at all, man. What I was taught in the armed forces. 3 seconds, your life is over. You're done. Bam, that's it. I've never used it before. Well, I came close to using it, but I did when I was active duty, but I didn't use it in public here. Anyways, what's this Evan Barker? This kind of cracked me up. Knew one of my family who voted for Trump owns any stocks. No one. Okay. And we got all these Democrats panicking today. You know how much it must have felt when Jimmy Carter destroyed $400,000 trucking jobs. Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, shifting jobs to Mexico and Canada. That's what we're trying to get it back now with the tariffs, okay? He deregulated the finance industry, led us to 2008 housing crisis. And Obama, you know what? I guess these jobs weren't so shovel ready after all. I had to get off my mind today on the show here. I see we're at the 52-minute mark, so we are running short of time. I had to get off my mind, but I wanted to do that early in the show, and I guess I waited till I don't know why. Anyway, because I got you on the phone, and you actually helped me make me comfortable.
Yeah,
too.
well, that's where the media they warp the facts and present it, and people hear it on TV, so they assume it's true. And if they use their memory, they would remember all the things about the past and the presidents, but they don't, because they heard it on TV, and they just change the whole history change history, just plain out change.
They just lied.
Yeah, they lied.
They wrote it in their own version, and
it wouldn't be a lie. I heard it on TV, and I heard it on 5 different channels.
Yet I'll print something on Facebook or reshare something I saw on Facebook that is factual. I lived through the times. One of them was about when gas prices were that bad in the 70s. I was 16 years old, 1978. I knew what gas prices went from boom, 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 and it wasn't good. Okay, it hurt the pocketbook. I couldn't afford to buy that much pot or beer,
Yeah, right.
Truth, man. That's what we did back then.
People don't realize it doesn't matter what you call the number anyway. It's how much can you buy with an hour of work? It doesn't matter what you call the price. The number of the price doesn't matter. It's how much can you buy with an hour of work? You got to look at it like that. How much can you buy with 1 hour of work? It doesn't matter if you call it 20 cents or $200. The number of the money doesn't matter. It's how much can you get with 1 hour of work, and then you know if you're better off or not, if inflation has got you or not. The number that you call them dollar, is not relevant. So people, they don't even look at it rationally. Say, that's not a living wage. Well, it doesn't matter. Look at it first. How much can you buy with 1 hour of work? And then you see, are you better or not? The number is irrelevant.
Well, I do know this, that I guess a bunch of pizza stores in California, the state of California, or the nation of California, because I don't want to be in part of America anymore, that pizza shops are closing down because the required minimum wage, I think it's in Los Angeles, they're moving out of there because they are forced to pay them $20 an hour.
Right.
I dig it, man. I worked on a cheap $10, $11 an hour, I get it. But that's just the way the system works, and
they say they're looking out for the little man, but the only person who gets the big wage is the initial person. The person who's been there 5 or 10 years, they don't get a $10 raise. They don't get a $5 raise. They don't get any raise but cost of living raise. So they just all lost rate. After 1 year, the inflation hits, they've all just lost money. So the only person who's any better is the very initial person. Everyone else in the company, everybody else in the country has just lost money. So did you help the country in any way? No, you've only helped the initial person. Everybody else just lost. But they don't talk about that. they care about you. They help you. We care about
Well,
they're the cold people.
I
The
know
only
this.
people who can survive are big business.
I
So
know.
who cares about big business? These Democrats. Who hurts the little man? That Democrat.
All right.
Think long term. Think of the whole picture. But no, we care about you, little man.
No,
want
they
you to
don't.
have
But
a
you know
nice
what we all
day.
care about, Lenny? We all
Mhm.
care about now is how do you get your troubles away? We're blessed to live here in Florida on the Gulf Coast, Clearwater,
that's what
just
I
a
care
little
about.
jaunt away.
Yep.
Hour and a half
I
buses
go
for me.
to
That
vacation,
stinks.
that's
But,
fine.
we got that. But we got the
Got
baseball
good weather.
and
Yeah, good
NHL
vacation.
tonight. And would you say, Matt, if they win tonight, the Lightning are in?
No, they gotta get if they get at least 1 point tonight, they're
Or
in.
at least 1 point.
Yeah, if they go
win,
to
2 points. So
yeah. If they win, they're in. If they
But
go to
even if they
overtime and
tie.
lose, they're in. Yeah.
You know what? I haven't watched overtime in a long time. What they do? One period, regular 5 minutes.
All right. So the way
Then they go to shootout.
for the way that overtime works now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with it, it's 5 minutes, 3-on-3 hockey. If nobody scores in overtime, then yes, we go to a shootout.
Now that's another question too. I was looking up earlier today because, to be honest with you, I don't know why I lost grapple watching NHL for a while because I didn't have a TV or whatever. I don't even know. And how do the playoffs work now? They still all games of 7?
Yeah, it's still all best of 7
But didn't they
series.
change something for a little
Yeah,
while?
the format for the longest time was 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, and the 4-5 matchup. Now there's 2 wild cards. So the way it works, there's 4 divisions in the NHL now: the Pacific, the Central, the Metropolitan, and the Atlantic.
Right. That's
The
our
top
East Coast side,
the
right.
top 3 teams in each division get into the playoffs no matter what. And then the last 2 playoff spots, which would be the 7-8 seeds, are quote unquote wild card spots.
That's right. It's a 7-8
So,
spot on who got the most points.
Right. So the 7 and 8s play the winners of the 2 divisions, and then the 2, 3 in each division play each other.
But that was baseball that did that, huh? Didn't they do like a 5-game series there for a while?
Yeah, they still do that.
I hate that.
All right, so the way it sets right now, I know nobody really cares about the Western Conference here in this area. So for the purposes of now, the way the East looks, if the playoffs were to start right now, Montreal plays Toronto, or Montreal plays Washington rather. Ottawa gets Toronto. Carolina's got New Jersey, and the Lightning play the defending champions, the Florida Panthers. So the Lightning are in the playoffs right now. They would play the Panthers if the playoffs were to start tomorrow.
But the Lightning are in second place as
Yes.
we sit, right?
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
second place, 3 points back
3
at
points
Toronto.
back. Yeah, I thought
Yep.
I didn't note it, but I read it earlier. Wow. I'm so excited because after here, like I said, I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. I could not fall back asleep. I hate that when it happens, but it happens often. It's part of my life. I have to make the adjustment. I'm gonna go after here and get me some French fries next door at
Sand Shakers.
Sand Shakers. Thank you.
Onion
Onion rings, they were groovy too, man. They are good. And it's fast for him to cook it over there. My driver will be here about 1:45. Gives me time over there to get something. Probably eat it on the way home.
There you go.
You did that one time with me, man. I think, yeah. Hey, man, I hear the music pumping in my ear.
Yep.
And I just want to say, man, it really has been a lot of fun. Remember, peace out. It's all groovy.
And we will be back same time, same place, same channel next week. This is the Tan Talk Radio Network. And until we talk to you again next week, have a groovy day. And it's all groovy, man.
Mama told me when I was young, to sit beside me, my only son.